Yep, we got on orange today, so you know what that means. It means we're in the management area, and got some company with us today. Got Indy the dog, be out in the back, so we're gonna take the dog out, let her get out in a wooded area and have a good time. We're out here right now. We're gonna be having a look at a structure, and we're gonna analyze it and be objective and everything like we normally are towards having a look at these structures. And I'll film it and I'll get the azimuth readings on the leans if it looks like it's something solid. I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen a photo of it. So our friend's going to show us where he saw it at, and so you can take a look around. That's what's it looking like out here. Green swamp WMA. Looks good on both sides. In the middle of our winter time, by the way, and I better pay attention before I run into the river. All right. A lot of viewers will be familiar with this area right here. This little nook right here is an interesting spot to be at. I got a story about that area one time, but this is something liberating, man, about getting outside in the woods, and even if you're just driving an off-road vehicle and just getting around and doing things, and there's just something liberating about it. It's really, really neat, really cool. Got some hunters, so I'm pointing the camera right the other way. That I don't want to be filming hunters. They'll get suspicious and think that I'm freaking filming them for something. So I'm pointing the camera the other direction. All right, so here we go. We'll spin back around again. What's up, girl?
Girl's gonna start eating your truck.
She's gonna start eating my truck? I don't doubt it. She is on the hunt already. Oh, there it is.
Rip it out of her hand.
We're gonna let the dog sniff around. Go ahead.
You could tell where we walked, because everything was, what got me though was
she's coming right back. If you only could let her run, I bet we'd never see her again.
She's 5 months old. You can't let her run yet.
No, if we were to let her run, we'd never see her again.
a good chance you wouldn't.
Because she would just bolt, buddy. You'd have to have GPS on her right now. That one right there is what you was showing me the other day. This one right here. Oh, she hit the camera.
I'm not sure if it was that one.
Yeah, I recognize it. It was right here.
Good girl.
Right there. Hang on a second. Measured some width involved here. Also 7.5, 8 inches. Right there on the width. Let me back up so people can see better.
when I came up here, and see that right there? It doesn't look like part of this has been stepped on.
Yeah, it looks like something's been in here, yeah.
Okay, and then up here, you got a disturbance here, right there, and that over there.
Yeah, that's been flattened.
And then that right there, too.
Yeah. Like something been sitting there. Could it be a game trail through here?
It could be. I don't see any hoof prints or anything. When I came up here, and see that right there? It doesn't look like part of this has been stepped on.
Yeah, it looks like something's been in here, yeah.
Okay, and then up here, you got a disturbance here, right there, and that over there.
Yeah, that's been flattened.
And then that right there, too.
Yeah. Like something been sitting there. Could it be a game trail through here?
It could be. I don't see any hoof prints or anything.
Oh,
For a horizontal.
yeah. If you're trying to measure the angle, I don't know if that's going to be able to serve any purpose or not. But I'd have to pull up the star charts
Yeah.
to see. But all I could do is take along that angle and try to pull the night sky.
Yeah, well, the other thing
And
is,
see what's there.
Even if you just had it as a reference of the angle of that you've been recording for a historic of, how many within so many degrees is
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, did you get an azimuth on just one or all three?
I got the one. I'm going to go back and get the other two. So,
Okay,
yeah.
because there's other things in this area that it could possibly line up with. That one on the other side. Also,
That one looks interesting.
there's one, it's been there for a long, long time, and it's a small friggin' little teepee, and it's right across the road going to Tillman.
Be out as light. We've been here an hour, but she's been dog sitting right now. She's been indie sitting. She has not been Bigfooting. But no, we found out that this last angle is pointing to the teepee
Wow.
in that
Here we
area.
go again.
Here we go again.
That one's pointing down towards the fridge. It's not pointing up to where,
Yeah, I will say that tree right there is pointing to the area where the fridge is located at. It's in that area.
okay, because that's not really, what I thought you were calling, Creepy Hollow.
So we measured the last angle, and it's generally pointing towards the primitive campsite is at Colt Creek. Although I'll draw the intersecting lines to see how close, but that's the general vicinity of where it's pointing to. Or it's pointing towards Colt Creek. Interesting. That's kind of spooky, creepy. So, my first question is what would you do if for some reason you found, let's just say, a teepee structure right here, okay, on the side of the road, and over the course of time you found another teepee structure. You look at this stuff, and we always do it. We look at it and we try to make sense of it. But many times, we just admire it and look at it and take photos of it and move on. But I don't think a lot of people really truly analyze the meaning of them. What I have done in the past is when you come across a structure, I'm going to get some water on it right here. When you come across a structure, what I've been doing in the past, as it makes sense, is when you look at the structure, there are the lanes. A lot of times there's a center tree in the middle. And what you do is I go over here, stand at the very end of it, and I point the compass in the direction of the lean, and then I get an azimuth reading, and let's just say this is 250 degrees. You come over here and you do the same thing. You point it and align it, and you come over here and you get something maybe like 25 degrees. All right, that in itself is fine, and you got to keep records of it. But it starts making sense when you start finding other objects. So getting back to a couple years ago when we started doing the then the vertex correlation video came out. What that was basically basically a larger structure that formed the basically what looked like the winter triangle of 3 TP locations. And then when you drew them out like this, okay, that's what it looked like on the map. But each part was 5 miles. 5 miles, and I think one of these came out to be like 5.34 or something like that miles. It was almost a perfect isosceles, or you could say equilateral triangle, but one of them was a little bit off. What was going on in the vertex correlation was that the leans and the teepees all started matching up. When you look at this, okay, the leans started all matching up. You had leans in this teepee structure that was pointing to the direction of this one, and you had a lean over here that was pointing in the direction of that one, which enabled that side to be found. And later on, there was other structures along the way that was like over here, and there was leans found in this structure that was pointing to this TP over here also. So this one was nicknamed. I nicknamed it Cirrus after the star because this obviously looked like the winter triangle to me. Now that's what went on during the vertex correlation, and other structures were out there aligning that was falling in along the constellation of Orion. I know I didn't really get into a whole lot of that about how the Orion factor came into play and all that, but let's get to the point. Recently, there was another structure found totally in a different location. For the most part, it seems to be something to do with triangles all the time. And I know people might laugh and say, well, because I have been laughed at in the past that, hey, any 3 points form a triangle. I get that. But when you have structures that are part of when you have pieces that are part of the structure that are pointing to the other locations, then it starts making sense and it starts making a pattern. So this is where we are. I'm gonna plan on going back out again tomorrow just to make sure and double check things because I want to be 100% certain and right. Just sharing some of this information with you about how I go about doing things, and I want to be doubly sure because I have a lot of electronics on me, and I want to make sure that the readings I got were in fact truly accurate, because it seems like there was something to this last structure. Beata told me don't reveal the location, in which we normally don't, but last time we made a video and we started making a video of the vertex correlation on that one TP structure, we had some events take place after that, and we don't want to have that one occur again. I haven't really shared a whole lot about it, but so what it looks like we have, if the structure and the angles come out correct, what it looks like we probably have a target area that maybe we might want to investigate more thoroughly and more detail come April. And the dates in April are going to be, if you're watching this video this long, then okay, I guess you get to know what the dates are. Okay. Alright, there you go. Hopefully you can see that. And that's going to be the dates at okay. Alright, so when we're looking at this big area, you know, sure, I could use additional help to look at structures and stuff along the way and see if we can make more sense of it. We can also go in the greater green swamp area, but it looks like this potentially could be a target zone that we want to try to find more structures and do more work inside this area. The structures have meaning to them, and if you take the time and do the work involved with it, you'll find out that there's an incredible amount of doors that will become open for you as far as making sense of things. Well, you know, I made a video. I came out here last week. I made a video, and I almost had it ready to publish, but I held off on that, and I just wanted to be certain of what I was seeing and what I was getting myself back into again. And so I came back out today. We're looking at this one structure that's standing behind me. It's a teepee structure, but I came back out and I took the readings one more time to be certain. My readings were correct. One of the lanes in this structure right here, the one that's on this particular side right here, is pointing to the fridge, and the other one that's over here on this side, the one that's on this side right here, it certainly looks like it is pointing to the TP structure that was used in the Vertex correlation video. So I can't make this up. It's what it is. You can shake the trees and you can look at them. The trees are in there solid. So it's telling me something. It's telling me the way when I interpret it, and I'll go back and plot it all out one more time again. But I'll go back out. What it's telling me is telling me to go back to Knox Creek, which is where the fridge is located and where a lot of the stuff is located. And I mean, you know, if you look at it, the tree is solid as a rock. You know, when you look at these trees, let me back it out just a little bit more right here if I can. I can't. This tree is solid as a rock. It's not easily manipulated. I have Matt here with me. He can testify to the trees also in the structure, and that right there is, and I'm not alone, so you're hearing voices in the backgrounds with some people that I'm out here with, and so that's the apex of it right there as well. All the structures are solid, and basically this structure on this side, you look at it that way, this particular lean right here, this one right here, it's in there solid, and it's pointing to Colt Creek State Park, to a particular area. So what does it all mean when I piece it all together, and when I piece it together and look at it and think about what it means? It's like a message that is sent. It's like a message that is sent to me. There's another view of you know, of to return, go back over there again. You know, for what I don't know. I don't know why. I guess I know why. Get the camera straightened up again. It doesn't really, you know, I just, you know, if you think about it as well, the other structure that I found that was 12 kilometers from here was also pointing back to the Knox Creek area as well. When I found out that, you know, where that one was pointing to, I just avoided it altogether. So now another structure points back to the same area again. You know, a tree can only fall, a tree can only be pushed in so many directions, and it's eventually got to lean and point in a direction. Those directions have meaning, if you pay attention to them as you go out and you go into these areas that are active and you analyze them in detail. They will connect dots. There is meaning to these structures. What has it all got to do with, Bigfoot? Well, we just don't know. And we don't know a lot of things. And, and so is it just conjecture? Is it just making things up? I don't think it's conjecture when you start plotting things out on the map, the actual locations, and I still got to get a reading. I don't think it's necessarily conjecture when you put it out on a map and it starts making sense to you. It's just very fascinating, very interesting. So it looks like I have a target area that I will probably be using for coming up in April. So, I mean, just maybe it's going to get interesting. Stay tuned. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll have a look at some more things. But I need to get a reading on this thing to make sure I got the actual spot on the Earth that it's really located at. All right. Okay. All right. So this is my Zoleo. And that's where you do a check-in right here. And so I've had it running for quite some time. I'm fixing to do a check-in. The check-in will give me the grid coordinate of, it's going to send a signal out to a person that I have it connected to, and it's going to tell me. Okay, just got sent out. And I'll check it on my phone.